the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice champions, FaZe Clan in 2022.
I mean, the Katowice tournament was a special one. First of all, it's like the biggest trophy in my opinion ever won, like with how prestige it is and the arena and the setting, right? So winning that tournament, that was awesome. But obviously we had a lot of obstacles on our way to get that trophy. But just overall feeling was amazing with the way we did it and not losing a single map in the playoff. And yeah, the stars aligned. We played really good, and JKS did a great job as a stand-in for the team. But obviously, pretty sad that Rain was not part of that on the stage. So yeah, overall, one of the greatest run I ever had at a tournament. Just because of what we had to go through to get to win that trophy, and lifting it in was just one of those awesome moments where everything you dedicate last many years to achieve, and you achieve it in that fashion. So yeah, great success, as I would say. Yeah, I mean, I think we came up during that night. We had to figure out who can play, and obviously we came up with like 4 or 5 names. Some of them was free agents, some of them was, in JK's example, was contracted, right? So what we had to do is we wrote to all 5, and obviously I think, and everybody agreed that kind of JK's would be the perfect fit, but we had to ask him how much he had been playing prior to the tournament, right? And also, if it was even possible, complexity would loan him out, right? So we asked different players, and in the end, we went with JKS. As some players would love to play with us, and some players couldn't because of other scheduling, right? So JKS was, in my opinion, we didn't have a straight priority, but JKS was the most interesting player that would fit that role that Rob said. He had 5 days to play in Vigility, I think. I think he used some facilities in Denmark to kind of play because he didn't have PC where he was living. So yeah, I mean, I knew that a good player like him, whoever you don't play for like 1.5 months, and then you come back and you get this chance to play Katowice, the motivation and the understanding of the game is still there. And the longer you go in the tournament, the more he's grinding. So we knew maybe the first 2 games would be tough for him. But I also think he stepped up in the mouse game, a third map against them to push us to the victory, right? So I was obviously asking how much he played and how it looked like, but in the end it was easy to take him. I was very impressed with how JK handled the whole situation, right? First of all, the role he had to play was like instead of Robs, which makes sense a lot of places in especially on T side, right? The way he played. So coming in with no practice, and he didn't play in Vigility for like 1.5 months before the tournament started. So very impressive, but also happy everybody took this tournament as a smile. And I think the system, not the system, but the feeling around the team that, in my opinion, Robin created really good, and just doing whatever we can and play together and have fun, right? In the end, I think that created some less pressure and also just enjoying the ride, right? From first day we played the tournament to the last day, we just had, this also feeling of fun and just like, how do we even get to this point and not believing like, I mean, we believe we can win, obviously, but it's unbelievable what we're doing. It's more like in that fashion, right? So yeah, JKS did a great step in, and especially also playing 2 different roles during the tournament, right? And I think the most important thing for me was JK should not overthink and should not know specific strats. So before the game, I knew like I would play one or 2 strats so where he should know the nades, and so he knew what to do exactly. But for me, it was more about making him comfortable to doing whatever he wants and think is right to do, and we just play off that as well, right? So that was the most important thing for me, not to lock him into a specific area of the map. If he wants to go for duel, he can do it. Like, and I respect that he's a really good player and he understands the game. So let him play his game, and we do our best, right? So, and I think other in-game leaders would put him 1-to-1. This is what you do exactly, blah blah blah. And for me, it's the most important thing. He felt comfortable, and we do our best with the scenario we have. And obviously a lot of micromanaging for me during the tournament, but yeah, I can do that periods of time in a team. think I had to talk a lot more or do a lot more micromanaging. So yeah, you can say that in some way, in some maps, I could really feel that we didn't have, for example, Rain in the grand final, like on taking map control on Mirage, where we had to swap a lot of roles there. So yeah, it creates a lot more uncertainty. So if I have a bad game, in that scenario, I would still take a lot of map control. Where if Rain was on the team, obviously I could take a more passive role if I didn't feel I had the right reads or right timings, right? So for sure, there was some of the maps where it did hurt me a lot individually, but I didn't really care about that. I just did everything I could for the team to succeed and players having like the best position to win the rounds, right? Every day in the playoff stage, we knew like 1 hour before leaving to the arena, or at the second we left to the arena, if Rain could play or not. So obviously having them both to be ready, and JK is waking up in the morning not knowing if he has to play, but I think both players showed incredible work ethic, grinding and watching demos, not knowing if either of them would play. So yeah, I think the great efforts from both JKS and Rain just made it like natural, and there was no hard feelings, right? Rain, if he could play, JK would say that's fine, like so. But yeah, it was how it was, and it was obviously tough to leaving to the shuttle and then getting to know, okay, JK is playing. But I just think we created that environment where we said, okay, it's how it is. We do our best, and we can't do much more than that, right? Already being in the playoff was amazing with the story we had.